it shocked me that much, I lost all my hair. Welcome, everybody. To hang on, I've got to bring them up. The PGA thing, there it is, and the saggy thing. Okay, that sounds wrong by saying saggy thing. Put that in the middle. Welcome to our Popcast rundown of all that just went down in Screen Actors Guild, as well as a little nod to yesterday's DGAs. I'm trying to keep an eye on whether we do actually get the other guild mentioning stuff and whatever. But yeah, hi, it's Ashley, your host for this time around, as Owen is away honouring rings and all that. Although, considering how some things happened tonight, I think he avoided it for reasons that he knew were coming.
Yeah, I didn't want to sound mean, but literally the first thing I was going to say was, "Thank Christ, Owen's not here." Not that he'd be saying this, but
and as you can tell, AJ's here as well. As we
yeah, if it's any consolation to him, the numbers I have, at least as far as SAG, are that me and him tied at 6, because that's the kind of night that it was.
Make that 7. I think.
Oh, what's the other one?
Oh right, yeah. It's the things you don't know about because they weren't on the thing, but they were on the Wikipedia page. As I was trying to get links to like look at other stuff, especially when things came up and everything. We had a lively chat throughout a fair bit of a ceremony. God, I'm going to keep track of that for the 3 hours of the Oscars. That'll be fun. I'm trying to keep an eye on whether anything is happening with the Golden Reel Awards for editing. Mainly because Tom Cruise is actually at it, apparently. Presenting some award to Gwendolyn Yates Whittle. Yeah, and yeah, happening at the same time as the Screen Actors Guild. So, thank God, although the irony is Top Gun Maverick did get something. So, yeah, I'll try and look through if there's anything in the stuff. Parsnip Burger says no ads. What does that mean? Is that no ads as in the SAG, or no ads because the ads didn't work on this video? I don't.
I'm assuming no ads during SAG.
Which led to the ultimate bits of, can you sit down, please? That's the closest I think, AJ, you have to me and Owen watching the Gorilla Golden Globe streams, and it was like, coming up in 30 seconds, we've got Harrison Ford to the stage. Applause, please, applause. That was the closest thing that we had to it.
Yeah, because it occurred to me, like, maybe a third of the way through, I was like, well, they're just streaming on Netflix's channel. They're not on a network, so nobody's going to censor them, right? Because actually, no, it was the very beginning, because the first time I noticed was when Steve Martin and Martin Short were doing the feckin' thing from Banshees. I'm pretty sure Selena Gomez just straight up said fucking. Like, she didn't get the memo.
No, she did say feck, but I mean, we'll get into that. Josephine does mention, because I'm trying to go chronologically, just finished reading Taming the Star Runner by S.E. Hinton, a great book. I'm now reading a Raggedy Ann and Andy Treasury. So, the Producers Guild from last night. I would say we talk about it, but it's kind of boring when out of 9 possible points for all 3 of us, I screwed up and missed one. Uh, AJ and Owen both went perfect because Navalny apparently is getting its momentum. Thanks, Ukraine, I guess. or will Sean Penn take all the credit, given everything that I'm seeing in the past few weeks?
I mean, it's also an incredible, but yeah, it feels like everything's headed in that direction.
Yeah, it has the momentum. It wasn't just because of BAFTA. I think. Maybe. I should credit it as being that. Del Toro's Pinocchio gets the animated award, which means it might be the only thing that technically clean sweeps. Because if I look at my list of what won before on the animated front, there we go. Critics' Choice, Globes, PGA, BAFTA, the Art Directors Guild, and the Annie Awards have all given it to Pinocchio, and the Visual Effects Society gave Pinocchio its award for animated as well.
That's a different version of Pinocchio that we can all imagine.
Probably. So, depending what happens with the Eddies and the Cinema Audio Society, and the ones that are happening right now, the Golden Reel Awards and the Satellite Awards, which don't even count, Pinocchio might be one of the very few sweeps, as we'll get to. And then, unsurprisingly, Everything Ever All at Once took the award for Best Feature as well.
I've been saying all season it was going to be an Everything Everywhere All at Once sweep, but there was still a little tiny bit about in my so odd that a movie so out there could be so universally chosen. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's where we're at now. So
yeah. In other little nods, I know some of you people like it out there, mentioning your other stuff. White Lotus got television drama. Bear got TV comedy. Dropout got limited or anthology series. Weird the Al Yankovic Story got best streamed movie. Tony Hawk's Until the Wheel Falls Off beat Formula One Drive to Survive, which is impressive because that Formula One season that it was based on was really incredible. And the Netflix series sort of made it less incredible, which is weird because, like, that's what got most of the casuals in. And for some reason, Only Murders in the Building got short form program. I guess that must be one like special thing that they did. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
One Killer Question.
Yeah,
something like that.
I liked Weird a lot, but it getting all these wins over something like Prey is a little odd to me. Mm-hmm. But okay, I'll embrace it. Sure.
We'll allow it for the sake of allowing it. There you go. Just quickly see if there's anything in chat about it. Brian mentioned we got WGAs and Spirits next weekend. Oh, Parsnip saying you said that there would be ads and there wasn't any. I just wondered whether Netflix were going to put ads in. Maybe they just did it as a trial run for what it turns out is actually happening this Saturday. The live broadcast of the Chris Rock comedy special on Netflix. Taking a page out of Disney Plus's Elton John Red Piano thing that was over the Christmas New Year period. I'm guessing.
Yeah, because as it was going, and as it was going, and I realized that they weren't going to do ads; they were just going to do the flashback stuff. I was thinking, oh, wow, so they're going to probably not even fill this 2 hour spot, right?
Yeah.
But then, like I said, I realized, oh yeah, there's no network that's going to cut off the speeches, so they can just go as long as they want.
There's no
So
adverts
we
to
still
put
got,
in to pad out a 2 hour show. They can legit just have it be like actual 2 hours.
because we were probably what, a quarter after when they were finally done.
Yeah, and then we had the sponsorship for United Airlines. And that was the only advert that we properly got. Just a random United Airlines sponsor right at the very end that people would have probably tuned out of. Because they saw
Was
that
it
Mark
was
Wahlberg was
it
about
them
to
or
talk,
somebody?
and they were like, "Oh shit!"
Was it United or somebody else that sponsored the Spirit Awards in 2015, and Paul Thomas Anderson called them out of the podium?
I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe his line was, "They will lose your fucking luggage," and he said that on stage. I'm pretty sure it was probably them, which makes that even funnier.
So, jumping to tonight's sags. First off, let's wrap up the things that AJ doesn't know about. Because I don't know where this was communicated, because it certainly wasn't on the broadcast. Actors are the acting guild is the only one to acknowledge stunt work, but do they mention it on their broadcast? Do they fuck?
Yeah,
Um,
I I know who won for movie and TV stunts because it was on the Wikipedia page by 6:30.
yes, that's what it is. So yeah, for
Because
TV,
I kept
go ahead.
no, 'cause I wanted to have the score right, so I wanted to make sure I knew what the stunts were. So I was like, I wonder how early they go up. So I just looked, and they were already there.
So yeah, TV stunt ensemble went to Stranger Things, and Top Gun Maverick took film stunt ensemble.
And you saying Stranger Things gave you the lead for quite some time because
Yeah.
after that, none of us moved for a long time.
Well, the key thing to note throughout um, the ceremony, all of us had one win that nobody else got, and just because of me thinking that it was a popularity contest, they love Spielberg because they want to be in his films. It'll be an ensemble for him. Means that I missed out on the fact that it would have been we got everything right, or one of us got one category right, and the rest were just misses.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
but it was fun because it was like I feel like I should be pissed that my predictions are so off, but it's like number one, I like surprises, and number two, I'm still not really losing. So
Yes.
go, yeah, just keep going crazy.
Yeah. So we start with the only murders in the building intro, which was
I
like,
love this. The second show in a row they've had Steve Martin be in the intro.
yeah. Apparently, is this a sign for Jimmy Kimmel? Yeah, you need Steve Martin. It's the only way to save it. After the Oscars cheer moment from last year, it's done.
Oh God.
Um, Spencer mentions Jessica Chastain, My Tammy Wynette, that Oscar afterglow. Oh, of course, yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, she just needs to keep playing Tammy's. That's the thing.
We started off with the I'm the Actors bits with Niecy Nash, Bob Odenkirk. Still not over it, damn it. Uh, Jamie Lee Curtis, which was nice and touching.
It was a Parasite moment where when I don't know about you guys, but I remember I knew that Parasite was not just SAG Ensemble. I knew Parasite was winning Best Picture when the Parasite cast came out at SAG just to present the movie, and everybody went insane. And yeah, it felt very telling that Jamie Lee Curtis was just doing her "I'm an actor" bit, and the room exploded. I feel like that's a sign.
Yeah. And how
This
she.
is these are basically the spoiler awards because since all the voters are in the room, you can literally tell who's going to win by the end, and it happened every time.
Yeah.
Even Bateman felt like that, where I was like, "Wow, Bateman got a really big pop, even over Odenkirk." Huh? I wonder what that means.
I like the touch though, where it was like I got my first job just because it had my father in it. Nepo baby, like, and then getting fired off of it, which meant if she hadn't of, she wouldn't have been able to do
That's good.
Halloween.
That's it. Yeah, that was a nice balance to the nepotism. Was I got him because of nepotism, then I got fired and had to do something else entirely.
It worked out right
Yeah,
in the end.
it was on the greatest horror movie of all time. No big deal.
And then we had Quinta Brunson and Janelle James mid eating,
in,
which
in
was a nice
character
little
for
bit.
some reason.
And then went on to present the award because again they did it without a host, and it sort of went pretty well without a host.
I say this every year. SAG is underrated. SAG is always the smoothest show. Even when the reins were off, like this year, it was still much smooth.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and I didn't know whether to be angry at them or thank them for putting me out of my misery with the first category.
now
It's like if you have to watch her lose, just like a band-aid, we'll just do it right away.
let me quickly do a region change because for some reason edges are appearing a little bit sort of splotchy and whatever. Occasionally, I don't know if that's internet on your end or. Uh oh. Should I have done
Well,
that? AJ is frozen. Oh no, he's not frozen. It's like,
I was like, can you still hear me at least?
yeah, it was just like,
So yeah, if I had to get a category out of the way first, given that I had an unfortunate feeling that it wasn't going to go that way, though, um, still did not go to the person I thought it would, which is
yeah,
nice.
we all got it wrong. Chastain was the most popular person. This to me established that SAG is arguably possibly the most faddish award ceremony, even more than the Critics' Choice. Because for some of these, I don't think they actually won because of the actual performance they did in the show. It's because SAG likes them.
My first thought was, well, if I have to see Blonde lose, I'm glad it's to Chastain because they're friends in real life. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's pretty much how the voting works.
Exactly.
And by the way, I mentioned recently that I watched that roundtable with, just because, it was another Blunt interview, but it was also Chastain and Seifred. Um, and that roundtable answers the question I wonder if some people have, which is why she name dropped Brolin. And it's a story that she told at that roundtable that's actually interesting because she played Tammy Wynette in this series, and apparently the very first Golden Globes she ever went to, she felt like an outcast. She didn't know anybody because remember she basically got famous kind of out of nowhere in like the 2011 area when The Help came out, And she said the first famous person, the first conversation she ever had outside of a movie set with a famous person was Josh Brolin walking up to her at the Golden Globes in 2012, and he said, "You should play Tammy Wynette in a movie or a show." And it's like that's like, and that very first conversation she had is now this thing. I
Uh-oh.
forgot what's happened now.
You were just like, like,
Did everything I said go through?
most of it. I'd say about 99% of it, and then it like went weird at the end.
No, okay.
I was trying to look at. Okay, so Salome. Because the first I saw sort of her was when they randomly did that sort of Al Pacino thing. Yeah, when he was doing the like Salome production in at the Wadsworth Theatre in LA, where it was just like, oh, she randomly got her tits out, and like,
Yeah,
and this is
nothing
like
wrong with
before. No, but this is like years before The Help.
It wasn't it like 2005 or 2007, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 2006 was Salome. But then the film that was based off of it was like, was it around then? Oh,
And
there
I
we
think
go.
I want to say the movie. I want to say the movie was about 2007.
Wild Salome was 2011.
Oh,
Oh, a feature film version of the documentary entitled Salome was separately released in 2013. Just to be really confusing. I can't remember which one I saw. It was probably both. Because I remember the documentary bit, but then also, like, they had the play part of it as well. Um, but, yeah, I mean, you knew from then, like, something was happening. I mean, the fact that, like, this Salome performance came out, like, this was years, 4 or 5 years really before she really hit her peak in terms of notoriety with, like, Zero Dark 30 and everything. And I guess to some extent The Help. Um,
Tree of Life was in there too.
yeah. He knew there was something in there. And it's like, it's weird that she can do something like George and Tammy and Isa Tammy Faye that sort of get all this recognition. And yet she still does the 355. I know that's probably because she was a producer, but
Yeah, so the 355 I can see where it probably looked good on paper, but it didn't go beyond that.
yeah.
I also remember around that time was that movie Texas Killing Fields,
Mm-hmm.
and there was that time, and The Debt I think also.
Yes.
So it was like right in that area. It was like I remember seeing The Debt in Texas Killing Fields and being like, who is this person and why are they everywhere now?
Speaking of that, we then had Everything Everywhere All at Once introduced with the main three. Then actor in a miniseries from out of nowhere goes to Sam motherfucking Elliott.
Okay, number one, SAG said no to serial killers, and and secondly, I feel a little validated because if you remember the 2018 season, um, when we were doing SAG, this is before Ali was like taking everything.
Yeah.
Um, I predictions at that time, I said Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born because his fellow actors have to love and respect him, and they have to want to award him. So I feel like I was just 5 years early. Early, and that's how I'm taking that.
Yeah, I didn't even know what 1883 was. And I figured it was something to do with Yellowstone because, like, 1923 was. No, turns out 1883 is prequel to 1923, which is a prequel to Yellowstone. They've also
Yeah, I
confirmed
mean,
that 1883 is only one series, whereas 1923 has been commissioned for a second. So,
I do remember hearing talk about like people complaining, basically saying like the only thing Paramount Plus is now is basically Yellowstone spin-offs and Tom Cruise movies. Like, yeah. And plus, well, now that they're attached to the Showtime, also like most of Paramount Plus's catalog now is you also have to have Showtime to watch this. So fuck you, unless you're into Yellowstone or Tom Cruise. But even then, I think we might have mentioned this before when me and my brother were doing kind of a Mission Impossible marathon the last time I was up there on Paramount Plus. But the only one that was you have to have Showtime to watch this was Mission Impossible 3. So the middle of this marathon got cut off.
why is
I don't know. Like
Showtime affected by that one? Is that because of JJ?
it's basic. I think I just chalk it up to the thing we keep saying that streaming is a blessing and a curse, just constantly.
The never-ending cycle.
And
The
shit like
Ouroboros.
that is a bit. But shout out to Paul Walter Hauser. Did he finally get to give that burger to Jamie Lee Curtis? I hope so. Did we get an arc on that story?
Shout out to Mr. Top Hat, which suddenly said, "What in tarnation?" I'm trying to remember if that's a Sam Elliott reference. And Cassie's in. Josie had to drop out, but we'll get to Josie's comments throughout the stuff. Jessica Chastain had a very touching story about Philip Seymour Hoffman, such a lovely man. Made me cry, said Spencer.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people have Hoffman stories.
Josephine also says Chastain's husband is super Italian.
Yeah.
Just like Michelle Yeoh's husband is super French. Josephine says, in honor of Sam Elliott's win for Best Actor in TV, miniseries, or movie, favorite performance of his?
I felt like A Star Is Born stood out for the simple fact that I feel like we've never really seen him like that before. Because it could seem like a go-to answer because he's had such a prolific career, but I mean, a lot of his characters kind of blend together.
Yeah, because the narrator of like the dude in the Big Lebowski stuff does feel very much like the airline captain in that key scene in Up in the Air.
Yeah.
Then there was that bloody, what was it, the guy who killed Nazis and Bigfoot or something?
Yeah, he killed Hitler and then Bigfoot.
That was it. I knew it was something to do with that.
That was actually a more interesting movie than it sounds.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like it was going to be this sort of Sharknado bullshit kind of thing, or like a Kung Fury kind of thing or something, which I just hate that shit. And that movie really surprisingly grounded itself, and I think that actually worked in its favor.
Yeah. Oh, and Spencer says The Hero was his favourite Sam Elliott performance.
Yeah, that's one of those ones that I saw it, but it's just I just did not retain it all.
And then fun fact, Sam Elliott's married to Catherine Ross from The Graduate and all that.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to shout her out. That was touching as well.
He did a Paul Walter Hauser and Taron Egerton to I think I'm just going through the notes that I've got as well. What I roughly did. So then it went to actress in a comedy, because of course they don't acknowledge ensemble for other stuff, because I don't know why. Um, fun fact:
There were
I looked into it for the best ensemble, at least in feature film. The very first award ceremony that they didn't even do best ensemble. It was only the year after that Apollo 13 got it at the second Screen Actors Guild. I only had to look that up because I was like, why did Mark Addy get a Screen Actors Guild? Oh, wait, they gave ensemble for Full Monty to it. Over like LA Confidential and Titanic. Holy shit. Then we went to... Oh, go ahead.
So many surprising things about what happened in Comedy Actress. Because not only, by the way, I love how triumphant Christina Applegate looked for Jean Smart, which kind of softened the blow of. I feel like we all kind of wanted this for Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems all good. So, had no idea that Christopher McDonald was in the room. Had no idea Christopher McDonald was on Hacks.
3 episodes, apparently.
I was starting to worry about Jean Smart's health, the way he was getting choked up reading her speech for her. Are we under the impression Jean Smart is okay?
And I was just like, at first, it was just like, because it just said Chris McDonald, I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, wait a second. That's fucking Shooter McGavin! Yes!
Yeah, that's the other thing that stood out was where he was on the stage. He had to have only been like 3 or 4 feet away from Sandler.
Yeah. He was just Shooter motherfucking Gavin.
Like and just in time for Thelma and Louise's Criterion announcement. It's like, yes, let's get a resurgence for Christopher McDonald right about
now. Spencer mentioning that Jean Smart's amazing in Hacks and Babylon, such a header hopper troublemaker, good chemistry with Brad Pitt. That's why I thought she might have been in The Hunt more so in the supporting actress stuff, but
yeah, I'm not Babylon's biggest supporter, but that scene between her and Pitt is incredible. The scene between her and Pitt might be the best scene in the movie, I think.
Josephine recommending a book to Spencer, a non-fiction book on Zen life. Jean Smart is booked and busy, no time for award shows. I'm trying to work out what she is actually doing.
So I would hope it was just that he, like, because they work together, he knows her family, and that's why it was so emotional for him to read that part. I hope everybody's okay.
Hopefully. Because I don't see, like, anything else about, like, if she's doing anything. Let's have a quick look at our IMDb. While that loads up, I'll see if there's any other comments in chat, if I can switch over to it correctly. I love the actor who plays young Stephen. He's going places. Real charisma.
Is that Gabriel LaBelle, I'm assuming?
Oh yeah, because then they did the Fableman's mini chat and all that. Gene, are you doing anything? Is anything in production? No. Oh god. Panic. Yeah, so we had the little speech with that. And then we get to the interesting one. Actor in a comedy.
I mean, the one that was probably one of the easiest of the night, and we all said, no, there'll be a curve.
No, it was the fact that Anthony Carrigan clip. Nobody's there. Bill Hader clip. Nobody's there.
Yeah.
Steve Martin clip. Nobody's there. Martin Short clip. Nobody's there. Jeremy Allen White clip. Nobody's there. Did anybody show up for this thing? Award goes to Jeremy Allen White. Oh, wait, he is in the audience. They didn't show the audience reactions because otherwise it would have been full photos and Jeremy just like getting excited and the other faces just being frozen in sort of smilingness.
I got confused because I watched a lot of red carpet stuff, so I knew that Anthony Carrigan was there because I saw him interview.
Oh.
So it's like I didn't know what's going on. Because Steve Martin and Martin Short were in the opening, but I didn't see them the rest of the night, so I'm assuming they weren't there.
Yeah, but
unless it was
Anthony
White
was
and Carrigan
actually
were
there.
but
It's just they didn't want to like embarrass everyone else by just having still images because if 2 out of the 5 miss, then we can put up still images. If 3 out of the 5 miss, that's just going to look awkward. But yeah, Spencer says that Alan White was also excellent in Shameless. If Martin or Steve won, they wouldn't have had to. They'd have had to have tied because how do you have one without the other? That is a fair point.
Yeah, I feel like that's why we never predict them, and that's why they never win. Is you can't really choose one over the other.
And then the Ensemble Award. Oh, actually, no, because it was. I should probably mention the presentation for Alan White was, I think, that was Jenna and Aubrey, wasn't it? Who killed it?
That sounds right.
Basically, just playing off each other very, very well. Which, considering how well Aubrey did with her SNL thing, leaves me excited for what Jenna is going to do with hers in 2 weeks. Especially when next week you're getting a fucking Super Bowl winner presenting. Who has no history of acting, at least that I'm aware of. Then again, if we're going to have 80 for Brady do well, who the fuck knows? One thing I'd also want to note before we actually get to the fact that Abbott Elementary won. Oh wait, I just said it. Fuck. Did you notice anything weird about the clip from the bear?
The number. Like
there was a fucking timestamp on the clip. The clip submitted for SAG use had a fucking timestamp. Who jacked this shit?
Yeah, because my first thought was, is that maybe a deleted scene somebody pulled from the archives or something? Because wasn't there... I can't remember what it is now. Wasn't there recently, like in the last couple of years, an award show where somebody's clip was a deleted scene? I'm almost positive that happened recently.
That sounds right, but I can't think off the top of my head what exactly it was, but... Oh, what's up with that? But yeah, Spencer says Abbott Elementary keeps winning. I'll have to check it out. It's been pretty solid for the first 2 seasons, I would say.
Still haven't. I've seen the first season, which I loved. I haven't started the second season yet because last I checked, it's not on HBO Max yet, which will probably be when I do. I think Hulu has both seasons. Come to think of it, so I guess I could whenever. Yeah. Okay, I got another Gene Smartass question.
Okay.
Maybe I'm just too panicky. Too many people are dropping off suddenly, and it's making me paranoid. Okay, so is Chris Perfetti okay? because the last time I saw somebody dressed like that at an award show, it was Michael C. Hall when he was going through chemo. Now, and if I remember correctly, Chris Perfetti was on the red carpet, but not dressed like that. So I don't know what that was either.
I mean, I'm saying hopefully. Then we get the president's speech from Fran, the nanny.
Okay, so I remember when she was elected SAG president, and I had heard that it was pretty much a 50-50 split with who she was running against. And I'm wondering what exactly goes on there, because maybe I just wasn't, maybe I'm just reading too much into something. The room didn't feel that warm when she was on stage. Did you get anything like that?
Well, it was I think it was another bit where they had like a video clip and it was like nobody bothered to sat down.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell if everybody was just
trying to
restless or if it was
network
like, because she had a lot of like pause for cheering moments that were pretty muted.
Yeah,
It might have
she was
been
hoping for big
it was
cheering for the.
very restless room.
She was hoping for big cheering for the big Medicaid bit, and it was just like golf clap, like.
Yeah, I mean, I was only half listening, so I'm not sure what the aim was, but
Although apparently the you can thank the WGA, the PGA, the Teamsters, and something else in terms of actually get everything like running for the show. So I guess fuck the DGA or whichever one she didn't mention. I can't remember. She mentioned WGA. I remember that, but I can't remember it was D or P. Or P or
she
D.
did say DGA.
Yeah. I guess it was the PGA that was like, fuck you. Then again, would the Teamsters be considered like a variant of PGA?
I hear the word Teamsters and I just think of Hoffa. I don't know much about that.
Thanks, Scorsese.
Yeah. Or the what was the Stallone movie that was like loosely Hoffa? Fist, I think, was it? I think Fist was his Teamster movie.
Yeah.
I love that we completely did not mention the actual movie called Hoffa, the Danny DeVito Nicholson one, because nobody. Why? Nah.
Then we get to supporting actress and the amazing intro from Bateman and Plant. Like...
I need a movie with them like 5 years ago. I need it now.
Chemistry that we've had over. We've been talking backstage for so long. We've known each other for years. Here are the nominees. Playback. Like
she can have dramatic chemistry with anybody. She can have comedic chemistry with anybody. And I think Bateman's the same way. So they're basically professionally made for each other. I love that they were grouped together. I think that might have been my favorite moment of the night, was just them presenting supporting actress.
Which flipped the script, and Lee Curtis wins because she's the most popular.
So I mean, we're getting a little ahead here, but is this unprecedented that nothing matched BAFTA? This is wild.
Yeah, because be interesting to see what happens with Spirits next week, which we will be predicting tomorrow at our usual time of 6 Eastern. Because, yeah, Lee Curtis Lee Curtis goes up
The
against Ke Huy
favorite.
Quan, and we've only got one. We only got one winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, all the other
So yeah,
suspects aren't even
basically,
in there. At least in terms of supporting actress.
yeah, I would still say Quan is pretty set in stone, despite Keoghan getting BAFTA. But apart from that, the acting races are totally up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Especially supporting actress has been confused with it all season. Whether like getting nominated was a whole bloodbath in itself, and now it's not even close to slowing down. It's fucked up nature towards picking a winner. It's gonna be just as annoying and difficult to predict a winner for supporting actress as it was to predict the nominees. As if as if that bar wasn't high enough already. I'm at a point now where back in the day I would have said if it's up in the air go with SAG's pick, but lately it seems if it's up in the air go with BAFTA's pick. So this
This what? That's when it briefly cut out. Damn it.
no, what was it? Just the very end.
Yeah, the this.
This will be interesting. Is all I
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, it makes it a multiple horse race now. I like the touch of I'm wearing the engagement ring my dad gave to my mom. They hated each other, by the way.
I love that we were like, I want to see Jamie Lee Curtis win just for the speech, and she didn't disappoint.
Spencer saying, we got a three-way race. Sorry, Owen, I'm happy for her.
Yeah, it's hard to hate the idea of a Curtis win.
It's crazy to think as well, the only other acting award that she's won was supporting BAFTA for Trading Places.
It depends on what you think matters. She got a Globe for True Lies.
Oh, yeah, back in 95. Yeah, I remember that, sorry. And then, no, I think it was somebody else that was Ensemble, I think. That won, I can't remember. Spencer says, I love you too, Michelle Yeoh. We had some, when I said Michelle, you say yo stuff.
That went really. Sometimes that stuff falls flat. That went really well. The crowd was all on board for that Michelle Yeoh thing.
Didn't like Black Panther. This was a win for me. AJ again say I love the sax.
Yeah. they're always the best show, and they make the most interesting decisions, and have they seem to have the best speeches too, because everybody's so comfortable because everybody's a colleague.
And it helps when it's not being streamed live to an actual network that they can let it run for time. Josie says would have preferred Sue or Condon to win, but Curtis winning assures me that Bassett is now vulnerable.
Yeah, when we do our Oscar predictions, for me it's going to be down to SAG versus BAFTA. And you know what's also crazy is you would say which go with the movie that has the most love. Like if you're just looking at Curtis versus Condon, you'd want to say, well, obviously with all the love for everything ever all at once, go with Curtis. But it's so weird that they're so different this year that while the guilds have completely eaten up everything ever all at once, BAFTA did the exact opposite. BAFTA gave it one tech award. That's a very vast difference. And the movie the movie that conquers BAFTA isn't even nominated at PGA. Like I said, this would be fun and exciting if we didn't have to do predictions. But since we do predictions, it's fucking annoying.
Then we had a little spit for women talking. Um,
or as Mark Wahlberg would call it, women are talking.
I was gonna bring that up towards the end. It was like
I couldn't resist.
Wahlberg did a bloody Patrick Stewart, and it was like, oh, I've got to read him. It literally said on the screen. It did not say women are talking. God damn it. You literally had one job because you weren't going to win anything tonight. Unlike Jason Bateman or Odenkirk or anybody else that was sort of on here. Jeez. So yeah, supporting actor goes to Ki Kwan.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna guess BAFTA going with Kyogen was an anomaly. As awesome as it was that they did.
I was today years old when I found out that he was a stunt choreographer for the original X-Men.
Yeah, I saw like a 5 second clip where he's like instructing Hugh Jackman at one point. And it's
That's how he resolved to doing. And he only came back last year for like a directorial debut of somebody that's basically did like it was either a Goonies spin-off or something inspired by the Goonies or something, which then led to Everything Everywhere, and then he's showing up in the Russo brothers' new project.
yeah, this is pretty wild, and once again, I'm sorry to sound mean. I'm so glad Owen's not here to ruin this moment because I really love this. There's a moment that's like kind of chill into this point when you see where we are now, because when we were like at the height of COVID and all that, Josh Gad started doing that thing where he was doing reunions by way of Zoom, and the first one he did was the Goonies, and this is like mid 2020, I think. And so all the Goonies are there via Zoom, and when they're talking to Ki Kwan says he's talking about what he's been up to, and then he says, "And here's something interesting, guys. I'm getting back into acting." And it's like and he was just so casual about it. It's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be in movies again." Because I remember it occurring to me when I heard that when that video first aired, and it was like, "Oh, I'm sure he'll get some parts here and there, and we'll probably see it." Like, "Oh yeah, I remember that guy." And then I didn't think anything else of it. And I think there was even like a little note that came up that said like, "Be sure to look out for Key in Everything Everywhere All at Once, which comes out next year." And it's like, "Oh, cool, he's got a part. That's nice." And and now this is where we are. And I love going back and watching him just be so casual about like, "So guys, I'm gonna start acting again. Isn't that cool?" It's like little did anybody know.
Spencer says Kwan cemented his Oscar with the speech as well. Barry will have 509 more chances. I don't think it'll be exactly that much, unless he's actually a robot. But Barry's getting the right gigs to certainly be a contender down the line. All love to go around. The nanny is the president. She fell on her fanny to the presidency. It was a bit out of order there, Spencer, but Josie, I just come back from break. My mum and I love Abbott Elementary. Brendan Fraser is so happy for Ki Kwan. And then in all caps, so I have to do it sort of shouty voice. Get Paulie Shaw and Sean Astin present at the Oscars, goddammit.
Sean Astin, yes. I don't know how else to say this. Is Pauly Shore under control? I can't really.
I mean, the way that you say it means I hope no. But at the same time, I hope very much yes.
Well, the thing about Paula Shore is he has some videos on his YouTube channel that occasionally get recommended to me,
Uh-oh.
where he does through green screen. He has inserted himself into dramatic movies with dramatic monologues, and he gives like there's a video of him doing the Nicholson monologue from A Few Good Men, Sling Blade monologue. He did the scene at Jenny's grave in Forrest Gump, and he's taking it totally seriously. And the thing about it is, he's not really an actor, but I still want to like hand it to him for like wanting to be taken seriously. He just doesn't. That's just not really something that he has, at least to me. But yeah, but it's one of those things where like I would like to see him like succeed. I think. But he also seems like one of those guys that would like get Me Too to death if he was more famous now. So I don't know. I base that on nothing, by the way. That's just I can just kind of think for that, but don't take anything literal by me saying that.
Then we had the Babylon Ensemble introduction, which also had another "Sit down, you fucks."
Diego Calvo was almost making me uncomfortable. And it's like, he was like, dude, this is like your first fucking movie. Why don't you sit the fuck
this,
down?
this is the point that you are going to have your SAG after card disbanded. It'll be torn up.
Okay. There was one thing that put a bad taste in my mouth about Diego Calva, and it's not even his fault. It's not something he said or did. It's something somebody else said. I don't want to sound like I'm just fucking hating on Damien Chazelle. I've even said a lot of the derogatory things I say about Damien Chazelle are probably based in envy, and I will admit that. But there's just one of the things I didn't like about Babylon was it felt like Chazelle has just really disappeared up his own ass, like post La La Land. Yeah. Like the Whiplash praise was earned. It's like, yeah, give this guy anything for doing Whiplash, but then it's like La La Land kind of made it a bit arrogant, which also makes me a bit fond. How humbling must that have been? But so the story that I heard was that it was like the first day that Chazelle and Diego Calva were on set of Babylon, and Chazelle was so confident in his material and the character he'd written, he pulled Calva to the side and basically said, "Get ready, dude, because you're going to be fucking on top of the world after this. You're going to be at the top of the mountaintop. I'm putting you in the. You're going to be one of those famous people of all time because of me, because of this part I'm giving you. That's how much you're going to crush it." And I love how very little he's been singled out, just because it's so. Chazelle seems like a guy that just constantly
was Margot and Brad and Gene and Toby and like, who's this other person? Even though he's the bloody lead.
Yeah, like I said, the character doesn't even feel like a lead. He just kind of goes throughout everybody else's story. he's a background player in everybody's story. Okay, that's my semi-annual Damien Chazelle rant that I only partially.
We'll see if it shows up again at Oscars time. Then we had the Andrew Garfield speech for Sally Field, where I found out about the flying nun. This seems awesome.
Had you never heard of it?
No. The first time, I mean, I was aware of her like in a few of the things that she got the Oscars for in the 70s and, well, Norway in like 78, 79-ish, and then the other one in 84.
Yeah, Norman Ray was 79.
And then the double combo of Doubtfire and Forrest Gump. The only reason I know the Forrest Gump bit is not because of the whole, life is like a box of chocolates thing. It's because there was some random bit on YouTube. I can't think why or where or what, but it was like her like doing like beatboxing, and Hank's beatboxing with it as well. It's like just dubbing in and CGIing in the lips, doing all the noises and whatever. While she's on a deathbed, she's like.
What the fuck?
And then Hanks is just there, sort of solemnly staring, but at the same time going. He's like. And then apparently she's a pivotal plot point in 80 for Brady. Who knew? That's how the Super Bowl actually happened. It's actual fact.
Yeah, I pretty much loved that whole section. I loved everything Garfield said. I loved how humble she is. Like she literally wanted to be anywhere else, but in that room when that was happening. But then she was so like cool and collected when actually giving her speech,
Mm-hmm.
and was able to easily rattle off so many characters she's played. And confirmed that I guess that was not a body double in Stay Home, which I kind of always assumed it was.
Spencer said I loved her in Absence of Malice with Newman.
That got a lot. That got a lot of airtime. Oh, I guess I should. I was going to bring this up earlier, and then I forgot. And it was prominent throughout the night. Did anybody else think there were 3 montages? There was the opening montage, the Sally Field montage, and the In Memoriam. Did it feel like all of those were a little too quickly edited? I feel, especially the opening montage where it showed like all the performances and stuff that was nominated. It felt like all the clips were like a fraction of a second.
They lingered a lot longer on the sort of bits in between, from previous ceremonies to sort of fill the gap there and everything. More so.
Yeah, and not as bad. It wasn't as bad as the In Memoriam at the 2021 Oscars, where it was like they fast forward after a while. But it felt like it was going very quickly. Like there was no time to really savor who we were looking at. That just kind of felt off to me the whole night.
Still no awards love tonight for Pacific Heights. Shame on these actors. Better luck next year.
We got like Keaton clips in there, not related to anything outside of Dope Sick, but still.
And Spencer mentioning Austin Butler in Dune 2. Exciting. If it ever comes out.
Everything about Dune 2 is exciting.
Josie saying Sally Field shares a birthday with Emma Stone, Tandiwa Newton, Ethan Hawke, and Lee Jun Lee from Babylon, who apparently wants you to sit down and shut up. Spencer says that he's a Scorpio. Josie says I'm a Leo, July 28th. Same B-day as John David Washington. Spencer again saying that SAGs are the GOAT. There we go.
Yeah.
It continues. Then we get to Actress in a Drama, which went to Jennifer Coolidge for White Lotus, who apparently was taken out of school to see Charlie Chaplin.
No, like it reminded me of Sam Rockwell's Oscar speech. Only his was significantly more concise, but it was the same idea.
Yeah. Which I guess
I
shows you the
can't.
power of Meryl Streep. Because on her Wikipedia it says Meryl Streep got her into acting and wanted to make her do more drama stuff, but then she edged towards comedy. Although I don't think she wanted to be Meryl Streep at first grade. So I think Charlie Chaplin actually trumps Meryl Streep. Official. Stamp it. And everything. Jennifer Coolidge is a working actress. That lady works hard. Give her an Oscar vehicle, my friends. AJ, you should write her something. She'd be great in an AJ written mob drama.
And I was gonna say she plays such a specific type of character. I was trying to figure out what it would be like for her to like really. I mean, there's moments like Lotus where she's very hard to read.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like when I was watching her speech, I was like, I wonder what it's like just like sitting alone in a room with her, just having a conversation. I genuinely can't tell what's like because like I said, a lot of them do stuff like in character, so I can't really tell. I I don't know who Jennifer Coolidge is, which is the perfect thing to say to an actor, I guess.
uh,
Yeah, I could see her. Yeah, so he brings up crime drama. I could see her doing like a Jackie Weaver in Animal Kingdom kind of thing.
then for actor drama, we had Jason Bateman for Ozark.
So after all these awards and the show has ended, and I talk about how much I love Bateman and how much I love Julia Garner, how they're like two of my favorite people in the industry. I guess I should watch Ozark now, I guess.
I mean, now that it's
I haven't
finished,
even
allegedly.
I haven't even seen one episode. It's crazy.
Well,
It's just so hard to me. It took me 2 months to watch a show I anticipated for over a year. I swear to God, I watched the last episode of The English about an hour and a half before SAG started. And it has nothing to do with any show's quality. That's just how TV is with me. I struggle so hard. No matter what is at stake or who's in it, I struggle so hard with TV. I don't know why.
and ensemble drama goes to White Lotus. AJ's solo
I,
win, but
I was ner-
dear
I was
God,
nervous about going in. It's better the category. I felt good.
Odenkirk had 5 nominations, didn't win a single one. Better Call Saul had like 5, I think, as well, didn't win a single one. That's the show that's got God knows how much acclaim, and yet has basically got nothing in terms of awards. I hope the Emmys get it
And
fucking right.
a surprising lack of Ray Seahorn, especially through the whole season. I've been talking about how great and smooth of a show this was, and it usually is. Did anybody else start to panic that they didn't know what they were doing? Because F. Murray Abraham had his big moment, and then it was like somebody else was going to talk, and then nobody else talked. So then they just started the music, and then the camera just kind of drifted around.
It was like,
It's
let
like
them talk
you
off
went so
stage.
long without having a technical problem. Now you're lost.
We don't have a video package. And we need Don Cheadle to come out to introduce the dead people. Of which I like the Sesame Street nods, and I didn't even realize the computer guy from Die Hard 1 passed.
Yeah. Theo.
'Cause I'm pretty sure I sort of brought that up as like one of the bright points of Die Hard 1 when we talked about Die Hard with a Vengeance last week.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he and Willis did that battery commercial together where they reprised the characters.
Um,
Oh, I did also like the grouping of the animated characters in the middle there.
yeah, with the voiceovers. Especially the other thing as well, basically copying from. I'm trying to remember whether it was Globes or Critics' Choice or BAFTA with the Liotta Paul Savino clip for the second time.
Yeah, I think BAFTA did it the same
Yeah,
way.
acknowledging it there. Um, and then we cut to a Banshees mention, which sort of had like Colin like not wanting to introduce it and let Brendan do it instead. Like, okay, what's up with that?
I think Farrell just said like an extra thing than he was supposed to, and it threw Gleason off. And I think you, like really quietly you could hear when Gleason said, "This is the Banshees finisher," and you just heard Farrell say, "Yes, it is." Like, yeah, that's kind of a perfect introduction.
Josie says winning pathwise Kerry Condon's in the same place that Tilda Swinton was for Michael Clayton. Spencer saying that Condon is
Yeah.
the best performance. It's a toss up to
I'm
me
also I'm
between
glad.
her and Keegan.
What was that?
I because Spencer was saying Kerry's is the best performance. I'd say it's a toss up between her and Keegan.
Oh man,
In terms of like which stands
that's not even
out
a
the best.
conversation I want to have.
Although secretly everybody knows the actual winner is Jenny the Donkey.
I'm
And
glad
there
that
she is in her pride and glory.
I'm glad that we weren't bothering with censors and that they seem to be accepting of fecking because the "you're all fecking boring" clip for Condon is like the perfect clip. It's like that really needs to be her Oscar clip, but something tells me they won't let it fly.
To be fair, just because of like it being used in the intro, I'm pretty sure Curtis in her speech and a few of them actually said feckin' because they knew they couldn't swear. Only one person broke the record. We'll get to them in a minute.
I believe that's the next one we're on.
I'm just trying to catch up, sort of like other stuff. Uh, Top Gun for stunts, Cruise and Kaczynski and Macquarie, excellent job, and all the stuntmen and women responsible for me believing in the blockbuster again, to Spencer. And those damn Stranger Things kids there in the 60s because of the delay in each season.
Oh God, you're muted. Like this is a long silence. We need to say something.
There we go. It even does it when it's on a solo call. I thought it was because it was on a group call. No, it's probably something to do with OBS and Discord not liking each other. Son of a bitch.
That's the downside now, is I have to be focused to make sure that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Or we were just going to sit here for the next 20 minutes in silence without me realizing.
Yeah, so yeah, the praise for the stunts and whatever, because I can't remember what got cut off, and the damn Stranger Things kids there in their 60s because of the delay in the season. Or as I said, because I don't know how much of it picked up because it didn't come up on OBS. I'm pretty sure they're wrapping that up somewhat soon. I don't know if it's only got one more season left after what just finished. I can't remember. And Josie mentioning ever seen you Spencer if he's seen Usual Suspects, with Macquarie winning the Oscar for the screenplay, which Spencer says yeah, and Macquarie's a good screenwriter. Aubrey Plaza's amazing. Everybody should watch Child Play, Ingrid Goes West, and Emily the Criminal.
I can stand behind 2 of the 3 of those.
I'm guessing
Child's Play. Something about Emily the Criminal just didn't resonate.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was Child's Play or Emily the Criminal, because I figured Ingrid Goes West probably would.
I loved the new Child's Play. I feel like I'm in a minority, but I really love the new Child's Play.
Spencer says Bateman for Ozark with a lot of exclamation marks. Spencer, White Lotus is the winner. Mr. White, Mike White wins. Okay. Josie saying, I guess AMC is not the powerhouse it used to be after Mad Men and Breaking Bad. There goes that dream with Better Call Saul. And then Spencer brings it up. Yes, Michelle Yeoh won. Predicted it earlier in the chat. Could it lead to an Oscar? It's not over yet. Quoting some Revolver Ocelot from God knows how many Metal Gear games.
There's like I said, BAFTA seemed like a hit, but holy fuck, the love in that room for that movie and everyone in it was overflowing.
Yeah. She was allowed to say fuck. I personally think she only said it though because of whatever the shit was on her dress that kept hitting the microphone. What was up with that?
I couldn't tell if she could notice that or not. I was assuming she just she was so overwhelmed she couldn't speak. But a part of me was also thinking, like, is she just trying to stay away from the microphone and it's not working?
Then I'm trying to work out whether it was Michelle and Jeff Bridges, but there was like some weird massive snog happening on stage while they were introducing Jessica Chastain to present actor.
Yeah.
They were just, this man and a woman. I'm trying to work out whether it was Michelle or not, because I wasn't paying attention at that point, because I'd only just got my internet back a few minutes before because my internet blipped and whatever. And there was just like this mashing at the sort of like hugging and snogging and whatever. I'm like, is somebody got on the stage like and bloody tried to hijack this shit again? Has something happened? And then it was just, here's Jessica Chastain and we're not acknowledging it happened. So like, okay.
Yeah, did I see correctly that the Academy brought in like a crisis team or something in the event that another Will Smith happens?
I mean, it don't surprise me. They have to have to be honest, I think they need a crisis team after the Oscars cheer moment from 12 months ago. That's the crisis. I
kind of wondered. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but a part of me wondered if Will Smith might have been here tonight. because he's not banned from here. But I think he's just kind of laying. Well, I believe they're like doing Bad Boys 4 like right now,
Yeah.
and that was probably a nice little excuse, maybe low from these public gatherings for a year or two or
Yeah.
10 in some cases.
And we get into actor, and as Spencer says, Fraser's still in it. This truly is a two-man race now between Butler and Fraser. I still think Butler, but Fraser does have less of an uphill climb, although I didn't like Fraser in The Whale. I'm just pretending he won for The Mummy or National Treasure or even Furry Vengeance. Josie's very happy.
Well, the thing was even though we all predicted Fraser correctly, I was unsure because it sounded like Butler's reaction was louder, which I thought was interesting. And I felt like the reaction to Fraser winning was he got the station after his speech, but before it seemed surprisingly calm.
Yeah, but
So all I can think is, does that mean Butler has more passion at the end of the day?
I don't know, because like when he gives his speech, he just seems like monotone. Whereas like Fraser's not taking it for granted. He's like really sort of passionate every time and getting emotional and wanting the Screen Actors Guild Award to have pants. So
This one's a tough call. Like it. Well, the thing that also seems like it's in Butler's favor is just how well Elvis has done this season in total.
mm-hmm.
Because even it made the fucking BAFTA only has 5 picture nominees and it made it. What seemed really telling.
And
This
then
is
we
like I
get
said,
to
I love everything being up in the air, but this is uh this is a wild season.
and then Spencer brings up women talking, not women are talking. Mark seems like he's annoyed by women talking, like it's a jerk. And then Good for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Movies getting into excellent range in my 6th watch. It's nearly up there with Pacific Heights. Will it overtake it? The answer is no.
I I know it's supposed to be one of those movies that gets better and better with every watch. I think I've only watched it 2.5 times, maybe. The time at the theater, and then 1.5 times since I've owned it. And it's still just, and I keep going back to the picture nominee. I'll put Banshees on HBO Max, just let it play, and I always get sucked back into it. Obviously, I've seen Maverick a number of times.
mm-hmm.
I've seen The Fabelmans a few times. I love The Fabelmans so fucking much, man. I can't. Um, After All, as brutal and relentless as it is, After All Quiet on the Western Front on a couple more times. Triangle of Sadness I've seen a few times now. For some reason, Everything Ever All at Once still is not quite clicking. It's not something that I like crave to go back to. I wish it was. I don't know. Maybe just because there's so much.
I'm wondering if it's getting to the point where Avatar goes on Disney Plus. Because I'd have thought we're overdue on that now. Oh no! If it came out week before Christmas, we're probably like week 9. So maybe they put it on Disney Plus the week of the Oscars.
That could be.
It fits a sort of 10-week-ish window. Then again, of course, if they still want people to see it in the cinemas, but then again, that didn't hurt Puss in Boots. Or Megan, for that matter.
Well,
So
Another one to throw out there is I've seen Tar 4 times now.
mm-hmm.
It's a lot for Tar for the kind of movie that it is. But yeah, I just for some reason Everything Everywhere at Once is the one that I'm like least going back to for some reason, as far as the ones I have like instant access to. I think the only ones I have access to are Avatar and Women Talking. I think the other 8 anybody can get a hold of now. I think.
Josephine's last things before she headed off to bed was Women Talking would be my personal pick, although I love the Everything Everywhere win. I can go to bed happy with it. Closely followed by Spencer going, Mark Wahlberg sucks. Such a phony. You're a punk. Somebody doesn't like the Funky Bunch. Whoa.
Well, I'm just waiting. Surely people are already making the comments about Mark Wahlberg's history with racism and then presenting it to the Everything Everywhere All at Once cast. He seemed in good humor as far as how long the song went. Which by the way is beautiful. Whereas like it was so
Mm-hmm.
I cannot how old did we determine James Hong is now? He's like mid-90s, right?
They mentioned in the speech 94.
Yeah, you just cannot tell.
His
When he said he's gonna come back when he said he's gonna come back when he's 100, he was serious.
when he was semi right on his debut film, because apparently there was another one listed, or I don't know whether that was in alphabetical order or not. Plus, it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. But yeah, his first film was 55 with Gable.
I got I got chunks of his speech because I started to get up to get ready to do this when they won. Watch when they said James Hong was going to be talking, and then he was talking, and then I took a quick bathroom break. Then I set up the lights. Then I set up the camera. I went to the kitchen for a second. I came back. He was still talking.
Yeah.
and that's okay. That's not even a complaint. That's not even a complaint at all.
He started talking in Chinese and saying like, "I hope that's for Hong Kong when we get back on television." And I'm like, "Can somebody tell him that Netflix isn't on
Yeah.
television?"
Yeah, I did see the bit where Michelle Yeoh was going to translate for him, and then he just went straight into perfect English.
Yeah. I just did that for the people in Hong Kong watching. We are international, bro. And like going into details about how basically he was in the precursor to SAG with Charlton Heston and all that, saying we need to create a union. Like wow. For everything that guy, I didn't even realize. I had to look up his filmography. Just like not even with television, which is God knows how bloody long, but like just on the video game front, he was in the point and click Blade Runner that had like a re-release a few years back. He was Chi Fu in the animated storybook Mulan thing for bloody PC. Bruce Lee Quest of the Dragon on the Xbox. True Crime Streets of LA. Mercenaries 1. Project Snowblind. Def Jam Icon. Don't know why that is. Kung Fu Panda for obvious reasons. Various Call of Duty games. Alpha Protocol. Diablo. Sleeping Dogs. Marlo Briggs and the Mask of Death. What is that? And then most recently, Prey and Judgment. At least for the English speaking version of Judgment. Just that alone, I'm like, I have played most, if not all, of those games, bar Marlo Briggs, but it has me tempted, but it probably doesn't exist anymore. It probably got delisted. Just from that alone, I'm like, I want to play the games again. yet alone his 6 or 7 decades outside of the usual stuff.
So now the one question has been answered. There's obviously a big question, which is obviously one for we're gonna have a whole other video on this, obviously. Um, but to put the questions in our mind, to put the question in our minds now that we have a pretty clear picture winner, future picture winner, the question is what other categories is it taking?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, director seems pretty clear. The big question is what screenplay looks like, because McDonough still. I mean, there's still reasonable suspicion it could be McDonough, but I don't know anymore. I can say that now while I don't have pushback from Owen, because
Yeah.
he's going to be in denial. He's going to be denial until Oscar day. Um, but yeah, I would say screenplay is getting a lot closer to them as well. And then the question will be what text.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting sort of, I want to say dilemma sort of thing, because it's going to have sort of, the only precedent it had sort of at BAFTA was editing. I mean, I'm trying to look at like the what it's won before in other categories that have been presented. Yeah, Critics' Choice and BAFTA gave it editing. It did get contemporary makeup in makeup and hair, but I don't think that's probably going to stand much of a chance. Production design. Production design it got for fantasy, but maybe.
Yeah, because it's not even in the Oscar lineup for makeup.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In which case, the only stuff it's probably in contention for is screenplay and the 2 or 3 acting nods.
Oh yeah, those. I mean, those are. I mean, yeah. At least one is definitely a given.
I mean, to be fair, we still haven't had the Sound Awards in, because apparently the Golden Reel Awards are taking too fucking long.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I waited last night for PGA, and it was like past 2 in the morning, which I think isn't abnormal, but I feel like it was like it was earlier the last.
I
couple
guess
of...
they were doing it at 8 p.m. their time because they weren't on the clock. Just like next week, when next week is going to be so weird. But
well, it's especially annoying waiting that long for PGA when you know what it's going to be. It's like you're just waiting for the confirmation.
You need the confirmation, but at the same time, it's like, but if I fall asleep, it might be something different. They might give it to Avatar, the crazy fucks. Women Talking is a beautiful screenplay. Everything Everywhere at Once will go down as a classic. Asian actors and actresses get more great material. Let's raise a glass and celebrate it. I mean, you could certainly establish that just from what James Hong said.
PGA did not feel like a race, because I don't even know why I still get these. I should really unsubscribe, but I still get emails from Gold Derby. And they always have the stupidest clickbait headlines, and the one that just kept relentlessly popping up was PGA, Everything Everywhere All at Once versus Top Gun Maverick. And it's like, Top Gun is my favorite movie of the year, but on what fucking planet was that the race?
Yeah.
I would have said Banshees of the Fabelmans before I said Top Gun for PGA.
I'm so tired. Have a great show, guys. See you soon. We'll fall asleep to the 15th time of Pacific Heights. Right, so that's 6 for Everything Everywhere and 15 for Pacific Heights. I'm keeping track. Will it overtake it? I love how so many people were wrong about predictions. They all said Bassett. They also said Butler. Well, to be fair,
I didn't say Butler, but I did say Bassett.
yeah, same here. SAG doesn't care about our predictions. SAG does what it wants. Yeah, it's a popularity contest. I told you.
Like I said, as long as I'm not losing the prediction game, I'm all for surprises.
We've still got WGA and the Spirits next weekend. Pinocchio took the Annies, unless the Oscars somehow go with Turning Red for Disney bias, and Sesame Street wins for children's program by default. I think that was either DGA or no, I think it was PGA. That's because it wasn't up against Bluey. And Bry, mentions it here. I got the message from Owen earlier. The Spirits are going to be live on IMDb, as well as Film Independent Spirits YouTube channel at 2 p.m. Pacific. So 5 Eastern. So.
Alright, so what day is that?
Saturday.
Like this coming Saturday?
Yes, Saturday the 4th.
So that's
Because
5
even the WGA, even the WGA wants to screw over AEW by having their awards at the same time, whereas the Independent Spirits were like, oh no, most of the people that want to hear about the John Cassavetes award also are really enamored with MJF versus Bryan Daniels. So they're doing theirs on the Saturday. So yeah, 2 Pacific, 5 Eastern. Which is weird. So yeah, our predictions for that will be tomorrow at 6 Eastern. And then our live reactions will, I guess, be probably around 7. If the Spirits do go like 2 hours. Probably. Parsip says all my predictions for the film awards are right, and I missed the miniseries and 2 of the TV awards because I went with Gold Derby's top predicts. That's why you shouldn't trust Gold Derby. Fact. I was happy Sam Elliott won even though I didn't predict him. Bry says no sweeps. That because of that now it means there's no sweeps for all 4 acting categories. We do have at least one anomaly in every single one of them. My bad smart had a heart procedure. Oh, there we go. That's why Jean was not there. She's recovering from stuff.
Oh.
Oh. Bry is asking, is Angela Bassett Regina King or is Angela Bassett Sylvester Stallone?
I would say she's neither. Because
Damn it.
Because King got no, okay, yeah, they're both the same thing, except one won and one didn't. If I remember correctly, both King and Stallone missed SAG and BAFTA, but Bassett's actually been here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, low would get you an Oscar win, but when you're actually up against the competition, when you're losing to your competition like Curtis and then I don't think that applies.
Something I didn't realize until I just saw.
Is Bassett winning or is Bassett not winning?
Something I just realised, having looked at the headline on Variety, until just clicking onto it now. In the film categories, if you take out the stunts, A24 won everything.
Oh, that's wild.
Because of the 4 for Everything Everywhere and Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
They finally had a campaign. Way to go, A24! You did it. You won picture with Moonlight. Just by the skin of your teeth, you won picture for Moonlight, and then you basically gave up for years.
Parsnip says Sylvester won the SAG, so you could say that about Jamie Lee, who might still lose the Oscar, but her chances just got better.
Stallone did not. Stallone didn't. Stallone wasn't even nominated at SAG. That was Idris Elba.
Which is exactly
for Piece
what
of
Bryce says. Everyone says he would win the Oscar, then he wasn't. Angela, since Angela was nominated. Best Sam Elliott, I'm going to go and say Conager, of which he starred alongside Catherine Ross with it. Melissa Gilbert ran against Valerie Harper before, which Gilbert won. I was surprised Fran Drescher was 65, and Parsnip also confirms that she didn't mention PGA. That was the one she left out. So screw them, I guess. Get Pauly Shore to present animated feature so Pinocchio gives Pinocchio the award. I mean, all I've heard about the Oscars so far is Rihanna's at least performing her track. That's all we know. Nothing else has been determined. No presenters or anything like that. Parsnip said, I watched Top Gun and hated it. I have not seen the original and will never watch it.
I think he's mentioned this before.
I'm not surprised because I think I have a block to Tom Cruise.
I don't know what to tell you, dude. I'm sorry. You feel that way?
And then randomly, I don't watch TV shows, so I didn't know. I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but yeah. I'm saying it for the statement in court because I can handle the truth. I'm only saying that because I saw a brilliant edited AI clip of that with fucking Mean Gene Okerlund, Conrad Thompson, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Gorilla Monsoon's voices being dubbed over whoever the judge was in the court-martial and the lawyer, along with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson in the "You Can't Handle the Truth" scene.
Yeah, the other lawyer is Kevin Bacon.
Oh right, yeah.
I can't remember who the. Is that it?
Yeah, the scores on the doors. You, AJ, and Owen both had 7. I had 6. Combined with my 2 to your 3 means that for the 2 awards at least so far, or the 2 awards over the weekend, it's 10, 8, 10. But then if you also combine the DGAs from last week, it's currently 12 to AJ, 12 to Owen, and I have 9. Which then wrapped into the things, because I have to now go to my BAFTA spreadsheet, because I can't be asked to change all the bloody formulas. So I'm now going to look at what it says, including the guilds. Currently, Owen's on 53. I am on 54, and AJ, you're in the lead on 57.
Surprised. I fucking crashed and burned it.
Owen's caught up with me. So tomorrow's spirits are going to be interesting. Along
Yeah,
with the,
I can't
along with
remember how
when we
you
get to
guys.
the Oscar predictions a week after that.
I can't remember how you guys did, but my BAFTA outcome was embarrassing.
Hang on, let me just double check. Yeah, I had 13, Owen had 12, and you had 10, which is what led me to catch up to you. And then I've let it slip because of everything that happened over the other guild so far. I'm trying to, hang on, I'm just double checking. Did you and I pick the same on the guilds? Oh no, only on women talking. I, for some reason, went with Tar rather than everything everywhere, so that's probably a lost point. Um, you and Owen match for all three, so he can't make up points on you. He can just stay in the hunt. So the spirits and the Oscars are going to be where it gets interesting.
Well, the Oscar prediction video has not been made easier by anything.
Yeah, if anything, it's made it probably more difficult. I mean, and it gets even more complicated over the next week because might as well mention it here because I won't want to tomorrow. The Editors Guild is next Sunday, the 5th. The Cinematographers Guild is on the 5th. The Sound Mixing is on the 4th. The Costume Designers Guild is tomorrow, Monday the 27th. And then the Sound Editing Guild is taking their sweet ass time to announce their winners. I keep refreshing the Wikipedia. I'm looking for bold words, and none of them are showing up. So I guess that's another thing to wake up for tomorrow. So yeah, basically, we got all the rest of the guilds to declare to give us any sort of like final precursors heading into some of the key ones, especially the Eddies. Given that, and the cinematography, to be fair, in terms of those, they normally sort of hint towards the movers and the shakers the following week. So we've got all that coming up. So yeah, the schedule. If I go to my calendar. Right, so the schedule for the rest of this week in terms of live stuff. Tomorrow, 6 Eastern, 3 of us will be doing our Spirit Award predictions. And then on Tuesday, it will be a Q&A, maybe with the 4 of us. I'm not sure. I don't know if you can hit up Chris over the next day or two to see if he's...
Yeah. He has no idea that's happening, I think.
Oh, okay. It might just be the 3 of us then.
As of right now. Because I forgot that it was happening because I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know why I'm doing it, but we're doing it apparently.
Well, it's because we
something about Owen wanting to end this month or something.
I think it's because we can't do it the following week because of the spirits taking up sort of one of the days plus the AEW show, and then we've also got to fit in the Oscar predictions, maybe in or around All Quiet on the Western Front, along with Owen's movie pick of Great White Hype as well. So I think that's why we moved the Q&A to this week instead, because we can't do it in its usual sort of slot because I don't want to do 4 shows over 5 days. I'd be too busy. But that's coming up. Also on the channel, Owen's got a lot of stuff in the can that's hopefully up. I don't know how we are on schedule because I don't manage that stuff. Okay, it says view. Somebody's already refreshed it and said that it had like 500,000 viewers at one point for the Screen Actors Guild.
Hmm.
I didn't see that on my tablet. I just saw like 200,000, unless they were counting the people that were on the audio descriptive one as well. Might have been watching on there.
I had it full screen the whole time, so I never saw it.
But yeah, Owen's Sippin' Snacks, Voice of Liberty, all stuff like that. Snack stashes and other various things from me. AJ, you've got more verses coming soon, and certainly 2023 movies to be reviewed very soon as well.
And the last episode of the English will be like, I was just gonna do it tonight, but it'll probably be tomorrow.
Yeah. So that'll be there. The bluntly speaking miniseries concludes again until the next project, in which it gets extended even further.
That's going to be Oppenheimer, which I'm excited about.
Is that actually her next thing? I'm trying to work out if she's going to randomly show up in something else before that.
Yeah, because it's Oppenheimer July, and then October is going to be Pain Hustlers. I think that's it for this year.
So yeah, in terms of social media, follow the channel at Popcast Network and Sir Owen Disney. I can be found at Ash Is My Name UK. AJ cannot be found on social media. And just like Keith Richards, will randomly show up in a Pirates of the Caribbean film if it ever gets made. Probably. I don't know. Maybe Rich's schedule won't fit. Who knows? Oh, also conventional weapons, apparently. Or something like that. So, thank you to everybody in chat. Oh, wait, Parsnip's got a few more quick things. In reference to my going with Gold Derby picks for TV show, I don't watch any. I admit Top Gun was well made, but I just didn't like it, and the acting isn't comparable to the other films in the list. Okay, so thank you to Parsnip Burger, Mr. Top Hat, Bry, Cassie, Spencer and Josephine, and everyone else that may have lurked in here. Because for some reason it says we have 7 viewers. What are you doing with your lives? If you're on the East Coast, it's midnight. It's already Monday. So, thanks everybody for watching and listening. And literally until tomorrow, boys and girls. That's what Jenny's got to say about that.